Hello YouTube, welcome back again. I thought I'd just do a little carnivorous plant update. Some of you I suppose have watched in some of my videos. I've got a number of Pinguiculas, some of which just flower profusely, so they flower all year round. I've got Moctezuma cross Giganteum. Yeah, I think that's right, Moctezuma cross Giganteum, which is the one with the really long lance-shaped leaves. This is more of the classic style Pinguicula, which is sort of the rosette-forming, ground-hugging type of Pinguicula. You can see there's called a few fungus gnats down here. But one of the best things about this is, before we go on any further, this is Pinguicula X Tina, so it's a hybrid. It produces these beautiful pinky purpley, really large flowers that arise out of the centre of the plant. It's already caught a few fungus gnats here, so it's great to have around the greenhouse because it catches any pesky fungus gnats. Fungus gnats aren't directly harmful to the plants, or skyrid flies. Their larvae, they feed off of the fungus, which is just basically, it's like a mycorrhizal, like an inert fungus, which is just endemic in all sorts of forms. Wherever you've got soil exposed, which is moist, you're always going to have microscopic organisms such as fungi eating them. These flies live off the fungi, but their larvae, if they produce large amounts of larvae, they can chew the roots off of seedlings. So a bit of a pain in the backside. So I use it as a bit of biological control. I grow Pinguiculas. You can see how big it is compared to my hand here, or my thumb. It's a relatively small plant, but by comparison, these flowers are very big and very showy. They don't last particularly long, but they really are a joy to behold. They've got sort of like a mirrory sort of sheen to them. I've taken some photos, I'll put them in at the end of this video. So they all come, most of these types of Pinguiculas come from Mexico, where they can be found in sort of very rocky, limestoney sort of areas. So they quite like sort of like an alkaline soil. People grow them in oyster shells to provide them with the minerals that they miss in just normal potting media. This is in aquarium gravel, a small amount of perlite, and some sphagnum moss, and also some sphagnum peat moss in there. So we've got a bit of, it's a really rocky mix, very free draining. They don't really have very big roots. This sheet moss has just sort of taken over. It doesn't seem to cause any problem to the plant. The plant's quite happy growing on it. They can even be found in some places actually growing on the branches of trees if it's wet enough. So very easy to look after plant. All I do is it sits in not this tray, but it sits in another tray with about this time of year, because of the summer. You can almost see the line on the bottom of the pot there. It sits there with about, I don't know what that is, that's about 7 to 8 mil of rainwater, and it sits there, and I just top the tray up once it's dried out, so it gets about a day probably of dryness before I top it up again. Very easy to look after, great at controlling fungus gnats, pretty little flowers. It doesn't like too much light, actually, I should say, so keep it relatively, keep it out any direct sunlight, and a great, very rewarding little plant to grow. Remember, if you like this video, you want to see more videos on carnivorous plants and orchids in my hobby greenhouse, don't forget to like and subscribe.